Now, the man that Jason Shepard interviewed that we were about to show you right now is not as tall as Joe Critchlow. His name is Squally Canada, but he too is in a competition of sorts for that running back spot as the guy. Zach Katoa, Squally Canada, Bo Hodge, Riley Burt.
Some of you don't believe me.
KJ Hall. Who else is back there? Squally Canada, all access with Jason Shepard.
One of the things I found really interesting, the other day after practice, you were asked a question about being called a leader, and you seemed somewhat surprised and pleased that the coaches had referred to you as that. Why were you surprised with that?
It just hit me by surprise. They had the gray shirts early on in the year. I wasn't a gray shirt, so I just kind of fell in the role of, okay, well, if the gray shirts are a leader, then maybe I should probably try to get into a gray shirt. I didn't try to force my way into it. I just brought the younger guys on, and for them to say I was a leader means a lot, coming from the coaching staff and some of my peers. So, yeah, it just caught me off guard a little bit.
When you look at, as a senior, one of the older guys on the team certainly had the reps and the experience. What do you, as one of those guys, try to pass down to the other players?
Confidence. I try to be as confident as I can while I'm out there on the field, and if I could pass down anything to those guys, it would just to be confident and be yourself.
Coach Satake mentioned you specifically as one of the guys that's really stood out to him in camp so far, really pleased with what you've been able to do. How has this camp gone for you? What are those things that you've come in really looking to accomplish?
Camp is going good. I'm just taking it one day at a time. Can't look forward, can't look back. But one thing I wanted to accomplish was my pass protection. Struggled with that in the spring. And then another thing I wanted to accomplish was catching out the backfield. So I've been working on those areas, and I guess it's all been paying off, and it's been working for me in camp. I caught a little pass yesterday out the backfield, a nice little out route on the sideline during a 2-minute drill. I thought that was a nice little catch. I stepped up huge in pass protection yesterday. So, yeah, just working on pass protection and catching the ball.
That's one of the things that stood out, because we're only in the media only allowed to see the last 30 minutes, but even in that 30 minutes, we've seen a lot more passes to the running backs in the backfield. I've got to imagine not just being able to run the ball, but being part of the passing game. That's got to open up a lot of avenues for you guys.
Yeah, it does. It's going to expand the offense when you're able to have running backs that can run, catch, and block. And not only does that, but it just shows people at the next level with scouts that come through that BYU has running backs that can do all three. And I appreciate Grimes for giving us the opportunity to show that we could do all three of those things. So, yeah.
The accountability is something that's been brought up from the coaches and even the players, holding the other players accountable. How do you think the team has done with that overall?
Yeah, everybody's just pushing each other. When somebody's slipping up or making a mistake, we try to make sure the players are the first one to say something before the coaches. Try to say it in the right way without getting in each other's face and whatnot, but letting each other know that we're in this together and it's not somebody picking on you. It's more of we're trying to help each other so we can accomplish the things we want to accomplish.
For you and the running backs to be successful, not only do you rely on your skill set, but you guys will need to rely on the guys up front. And this offensive line is expected to be really, really good. What are you seeing?
I don't want to hype up anybody too much, so I guess you guys just going to have to wait till September 1st. But I think it's going to be an exciting year for the running back group and the O-line group, and hopefully we could live up to all expectations that the coaches set forth for us.
Where do you feel you specifically need to grow and improve before the first game at Arizona?
Just pass protection and staying mentally locked in. Sometimes it'll happen once or twice a day, but it'll just be a small thing where I run a swing route instead of checking over the ball, but just trying to lock in and make sure every play I'm doing everything I need to do, 100% full go. So just making sure I'm mentally locked in and my pass protection is where it needs to be. So that's those two things. If I get those right before September 1st, we're going to have a chance to win.
You said the other day that you were asked about if you still communicate with Jamal Williams, and you said, yeah, you talk every couple of weeks. What I found interesting is, though, you guys don't talk football. Yeah. You talk other things. Why is it important for you to keep that relationship like that?
Within both of our lives, we're in football 24/7, and you don't want to get bogged down from talking about football too much. I know people in Texas probably think I'm crazy. I'm sure they talk about football all day. But me and Jamal, we're both from California. He's from SoCal, from North Cal. So when we're not talking about football, we like to keep it relaxed and keep it easy and talk each other up about life. There's some stuff going on in his life where I can help him out, and there's stuff going on in my life where he could guide me and whatnot. So we try to be leaders to each other outside of football, and help each other up and coach each other up in life rather than sports.
All right, last thing, Squally, and I appreciate your time. How good do you believe this offense can be? What is possible with this offensive scheme?
Sky's the limit.
That's all BYU fans wanted to hear. Squally, great stuff, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Squally Canada, one-on-one with Jason Shepard, part of BYU Sports Nation All Access.